Dan Swisher is the newly appointed CEO for NodThera, a biotech company that's specializing in leading the charge when it comes to treating inflammatory diseases. With over 30 years experience, Dan is telling us what NodThera is doing to bring their innovative approach to curing conditions like neurological issues and obesity, only on Taking Stock. Congratulations, you were the newly appointed CEO. You joined about 6 months ago, I want to say, but you have over 30 years experience in this industry space. Talk to me about your new role as Chief Executive Officer and what your priorities have been since joining the team.
Joining with my experience in business, focus on financing the company, preparing for an IPO next year, and really moving our programs toward the marketplace.
So talk to me about some of the challenges and how you overcame them.
It's more opportunity than challenge. We're working in some medicines on diseases that need new therapy. The challenge is just generating the capital and running the trials and getting sufficient data to know that the drug really works.
What is the root cause for Alzheimer's and dementia?
Neuroinflammation is a key component, and so our pathway in NLRP3 that we're addressing, we think will contribute greatly to some of the advances that are going now.
When it comes to neuro issues, especially as Alzheimer's and dementia is so prevalent in today's society, and like you said, we don't really know where the root cause comes from, there's other conditions that causes inflammation in the brain. How does your team differentiate between the diseases? What is the treatment process for that?
Treating those diseases that have a chronic inflammation, which is neurodegeneration like standard Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, but also hypothalamic inflammation in the brain. And so having drugs like ours that can get into the brain and turn off the master switch on inflammation, return people to a more normal state, we think is going to have significant benefit.
As far as goals for 2025 and next year, what else are you focusing on and targeting?
Beyond the capital raise, getting some studies up and running that'll be very definitive longer-term studies in cardiovascular obesity, advancing the second compound for neurodegeneration, and then honestly being ready to be in a position where we could be a public company a year from now.
What advice would you have for just the everyday consumer, everyday American, or just anybody really, how to stay healthy?
Good diet, good exercise, good sleep. If you've got a symptom or something to follow up, get to the doctor and try to get to the bottom of it.
And I do want you to weigh in on something. A lot of people might not know, but obesity can affect even people who don't necessarily look obese. Is that correct?
From our perspective, it's a state of inflammation that the body may be in. And if you have this sort of chronic inflammation, even if it's low grade and it's not being addressed, it's going to contribute to other diseases and worsen other diseases, such as Alzheimer's and dementia. There's a link to inflammation and obesity. And so kind of treating the underlying inflammation has a lot of health benefit.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Taking Stock.
Yeah, thank you, Trinity.